Hey everybody, welcome back for another video. Today we're going to be talking about some old world faces in some interesting places. Should be interesting. Let's get into it. Now I want to start by looking at this former courthouse, the El Paso County Courthouse in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I believe it's a museum now called the Pioneers Museum. But what's of interest to us is that there are some faces that adorn the outside of the structure. And to be more specific, there are 38 carved Indian head keystones. And I thought that was really interesting because if this building, and the speculation is that this building may be older than we're being told, and we're told it was constructed in 1903, but I think it's possible that it is indeed older with a different history. So if it's got these Indian head carvings in it, that is an interesting element to me. And I'm just zooming in on some of these keystones above these arches here. And they look pretty similar, but we're told that these hand-carved Indian heads, each one different, decorate the keystones of the first floor window arches. So if indeed this building is a bit older with a different history, but it still has these Native American elements, I find that an intriguing element to possibly look into further down the road. But it's only our first stop because there's another Native American face that's associated with this governmental building, the New York State Capitol in Albany, New York. And once again, we're told that it was constructed over 32 years, I believe, from the mid to the late 1800s. And this is another building that I believe is older than we're being told. I don't know exactly how old, but I do believe it's older. And leading to the entrance on either the eastern or western portion of the building, there are these 77 steps that lead into the structure, and quite an impressive structure. But there are, outside of one of the entrances, there are these two faces of a couple of individuals, and it's the only two faces on the exterior of the building. And when you start looking at who these faces are, one is, according to our history, a Mohawk warrior, and there's some intrigue surrounding it, the enduring mystery of a Mohawk warrior bust at the Capitol. So on the left you have the likeness of Henry Hudson, which kind of makes sense, right? He's a prominent figure in the history of New York and Albany, and you have the Hudson River named after him, Hudson Bay. So a key figure, so that makes some sense. But this figure, who goes by the name Joseph Brandt, and he was this Mohawk warrior, he's a different story because when you look at this Native American warrior, he actually fought alongside the British against the upstart Americans, the revolutionaries. He fought alongside the British against them. And he had this nickname, the Monster Brandt, actually. He was called this by a lot of people, including, I believe, George Washington at one point. Again, all according to our official history. And there's been articles written about Joseph Brandt and questioning why this Native American who supported the British during the American Revolution and who wreaked havoc on a number of white settlements was honored by having his visage on such a prominent edifice. So it's a good question with regards to Joseph Brandt, and this is a painting of Mr. Brandt, and this is that bust from the top of the Capitol building. Is it even the same individual? You know, did they just add the name Brandt to this sculpture? I don't know. A lot of questions, but the story just doesn't seem to add up with regards to at least this particular face, this Native American face, and just wanted to point it out. Thought it was pretty interesting. But the Capitol building, the New York State Capitol building, on the inside of the structure, there's this amazing staircase. It's called the Great Western Staircase. I think it goes up at least 4 or 5 levels, and there are all these faces within the structure, and a lot of these faces are completely unknown as to who they are. There are some that are definitely known, but there are all these unknown faces, and we're told people came over from Scotland and all these materials were shipped from overseas as well. But a lot of questions surrounding this structure, and there's even face that appears to be the Green Man with regards to the New York Capitol building. And there's one, speaking of these governmental buildings and the Green Man, even in Ottawa in Canada, Parliament building, there's a mystery surrounding the Green Man because his likeness can be found on the Parliament Hill in Ottawa as well. I just wanted to point that out. But yeah, that Capitol building in New York, in Albany, the New York State Capitol building, very interesting. There's even griffins that adorn the building as well. So, and these grotesques, which we're told are supposed to keep evil spirits away, but I think that's just a cover story. Now, just to kind of finish up here, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Art Deco movement in North America, largely in the 1920s. Associated with some of these Art Deco buildings, you had this Native American presence, and there's a building called the Penobscot Building in Detroit, Michigan, which features some Native American depictions. And this is a view of that building in 1929, a year after it opened. And this building, I'm willing to accept that it's real, like they actually built it when they said they did, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is another manipulation. But there's this Native American on the outside of this structure and a swastika, and I realize that the forks are pointing in a different direction, so it doesn't have the same meaning as the one from Germany, World War II. I'm aware of that, but I just wanted to point out that there's some connection between these Native American depictions and Art Deco as well. There's actually a village referred to as, in Detroit, Michigan, referred to as the Indian Village, and it's this sliver here. And I believe it's a more affluent neighborhood, and you can actually find these swastikas carved into some of the sidewalks, and just thought that was interesting. But there is a structure, a notable building associated with this particular neighborhood, and it's the Hurlbut Memorial Gate. And we're told that there was this figure called Chauncey Hurlbut, and he was, I think, the water commissioner for Detroit, and I think he passed away in like the 1870s or 80s, and he left his fortune to the city, and they decided to, we're told, build this memorial gate. It sits out front of this park that had what looks like this Moorishly inspired water tower, which is no longer there. But when you look at this memorial gate, again, all these depictions of Greek and Roman gods and goddesses, and you've got cherubims and these wreaths, and all the same stuff that we see on a lot of these buildings. And I think that's why, another reason why I question a lot of this stuff. And this interesting figure, which may not be the Green Man, but another disturbing visual nonetheless. Just an unusual set of depictions on this memorial gate that supposedly is in honor of the commissioner, this water commissioner of Detroit. So I think this structure is older than we're being told as well, but I just wanted to mention it here at the end in association with this Indian village. So I think that's about all I got for you for today. I just wanted to touch on some of these things, and I will take this moment to just give a thanks to my channel members. Thank you for all your help and support. It's greatly appreciated. And a big shout out to my patrons. Thank you as well for all your help and support. It is greatly appreciated as well, so thank you. So with that being said, until next time, take care. Bye.
At the very top, you can see carvings of Henry Hudson and Joseph Brandt. Now, it's logical that Henry Hudson might appear on the New York State Capitol, since it was Henry Hudson who came to Albany, discovered Albany in 1609. Joseph Brandt, we're not sure why he's there, a Native American who fought against the Americans during the Revolutionary War.